Hello, everybody. It is time to eat for me. If you join me in chapter 37, and it's after 12 o'clock in Atlanta, and I'm running kind of late, but I'm ready to eat. And I'm going into Genesis chapter 37. Very familiar book to people that either watch TV or heard somebody talk about this young man named Joseph. But I'm so glad that I know how we led up from Genesis chapter 1 all the way to Genesis chapter 37. And that means we have gone 37 days in flipping the word of God through the book of Genesis. And now God is getting ready to show us what it's like to be God and then deal with people that I love that act like this. So I know already how this chapter is going to end because I've seen it more than one time. I've read this chapter more than once. But I am going to watch this as God. I want to watch it like what God already knows the outcome, because I do. I know the outcome of this chapter. So when I do read it, I'm going to read it as if God is saying, just watch my people. In other words, watch my church. Watch how they behave themselves. These are church people. These are God's. These are the people that God is in love with. He's in love with the story of Joseph. So if you already, good morning, Faye and Jeff. If you already know the story of Joseph, let's watch it from the angle that we already know how it's going to end. But look what God tolerated. And it's us. So we're going to call these names Joseph. And we'll call them his brothers. But it's us. But watch how God still loves them, knowing, I know that now, because I know God. I know this story. Some of the stories I didn't know that led up to this. But I know this story well enough to know love is on the line. When God sees his people act like this, knowing how they're going to treat this little boy or this lad or this young man, allow them to do all of that, and still being God. Let's keep our eyes on God and watch God. Watch the same story that you might know, but watch it because you already know the outcome. And look how steady love is. So how I'm going to read this today, so it won't sound like I'm just telling a story that you may already know. And it might be new to you, but we're going to watch. I'm going to take my time and watch the church behave the way it behaves. These are the members of the church. And watch how steady God is. All right, so building up from chapter 36. Chapter 36 talked about Esau and his descendants. And he had 4 wives. And the people that's going to keep Joseph in bondage, the children of Israel in bondage, is Esau kinfolk. So anytime we see a rivalry or somebody coming against the church, these folk a lot of times are related to the family of Esau. So Esau he's going to be the first one to have Ramsey. He's going to be the Pharaoh of the Exodus of the children of Israel. They're going to come against him. These are the family people. So when we go outside of God's word and we do things and bring things into the family, then God said you set up your own opponent in your own house, which is crazy. So when we stay in line with the word, we keep life simple. But when we go deviate from the word, then we bring in our adversaries. And that's how we have problems within the church. So I'm not looking at it. When I say church, I'm not talking about the place that we go to occasionally, once a week or whatever, however we go. I'm not talking about church like that. I'm talking about the people God loves, the people that's in the part of the body. Now, the body does meet together, but I'm talking about this called, separated, sanctified people that God used in order to bring Jesus to manifestation in the body and dwell among men. And but let's just see how God acts, knowing the outcome. Now, we know the outcome, but let's just see what God is looking at. All eyes on chapter 37. And Jacob dwelt in the land, Genesis 37, and Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger in the land of Canaan. So Jacob is back home. And his daddy, in other words, They're considered strangers. But the good thing about these folk, they are attractive in what they produce. You can tell that they are not lazy people. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. So Jacob says, who was Jacob's dad? Isaac. And they moved into this area. This is all where God had told Abraham. And when Abraham first came here, God told him, said, now this land gonna be yours. And Abraham said, how am I gonna know that? And then he said, I'm gonna put you to sleep until, and so he put him to sleep in a very horrifying sleep. And he told him the whole outcome of what is to come. And now we're getting ready to unfold this thing little by little and watch God, watch what was going on in Abraham's sleep. We're getting ready to unfold some of the parts where we can see it break open, because he said these folks gonna be locked up for 400 years. I'm just kind of telling y'all, I'm not trying to tell you the end of this movie, but I know the end of this movie, but I want to watch how we act, knowing what the end's going to be. So Jacob is in the land where his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. So they getting, this land is, they buying up a little plots and little graveyard plots and little land right here and there. God keeping his word. These are the generation of Jacob. So now we at Jacob. Joseph being 17 years old. Joseph is Jacob's 11th son. These are the generation of Jacob. Joseph being 17 years old was feeding the flock with his brothers. He has 10 brothers. Well, he has 11 brothers, but the one was younger than he was, Benjamin. Being 17 years old was feeding the flock with his brothers. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. So these are the handmaids that Rachel had. Oh, I get these names mixed up. Let me see. Jacob was married to Rachel and Leah. So these are their maids. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Joseph was the little boy that was a young man. Well, Joseph had a habit of telling his daddy, Daddy. He said, yeah, Joseph. I saw. Joseph was a little, what they call, he was the internet. He was a social media platform. Now Israel loved Joseph. He loved him. Why did he love Joseph? Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children because he was the son of his old age. He said, I love this boy because he came out of me when I was about 90 years old, around 90, 91. And he made him a coat of many colors. And he made him a coat of colors. He made him a coat of colors. Now, if you mix all them colors together, I looked it up. If you put a whole lot of colors together, you know what you're going to get, right? You're going to get black. But he made him a coat of colors. So the word many was added, but it was just letting you know it was a lot of colors that you can see, not mixed together so it can look black. He had a pretty coat on, colorful. And when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him. Now look at the church. Daddy loves Joseph. And Joseph's brothers knew it. And they knew that Daddy did more for little Joseph than they did for all of them. And he said, because I had Joseph in my old age, and then plus I was in love with his mommy. But she dead now. And when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. In other words, they saw Joseph go, what you want? Ain't nobody think about him. Boy, I ain't playing good. Go somewhere. That's how the church act. You see some favoritism on somebody, because I want to bring this to us so bad. You see some favor on God's people, and then you're going to, there they go again. She always doing that. He always doing that. Why he doing that? And if you just take a look at what he's doing, is he doing anything wrong? All right? And they couldn't speak peaceably. What you want, Brenda? I got to go. I don't feel like it. I don't, what? I'll call you later. In fact, I got to get off this phone. Whatever we do, you can't speak peaceably. And his brothers, daddy love you, but we can't stand you. Moving on with Joseph. And Joseph dreamed the dream. Look at God. God saw how the church was treating Joseph, his own brothers. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brothers, and they hated him yet the more. I hate you even more. Look at the church. That boy can't help because he had a dream. And you hate me because of a dream? Oh, you really gonna hate me when it become reality. I don't know that, but they just stay with the word. For behold, he said, and he said unto them, here I pray you this dream which I have dreamed. Let me tell y'all about this dream. Here I pray you. Them guys, even though they hated Joseph, they sure were listening and interpreting. Look at the church. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field. We was out there working in the field. And lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. Those grains let me show you. Joseph said, my grain that we were picking, mine stood upright. Joseph said, this is just a dream. I think I tell y'all. This is what we were buying. And we put the things on, and mine stood upright. What Joseph said, this is verse 7. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. In other words, my bundle stood upright. And behold, yours stood around about and made obedience to mine. Obedience. Or obedience. Made obedience to mine. Yours obeyed, yours was like this. And mine was like this. Joseph said, yours saw mine and did this. Yours bowed down to me. And his brother said to him, shall indeed. Now here, look at the church. They got a revelation. They know God is speaking. And his brother said to him, shall you indeed reign over us? Joseph said, I ain't say that. But you got the interpretation. Or shall you indeed have dominion over us? Okay, keep on. You know. You know. And they hated him yet the more for his dream and for his words. You had the audacity to dream it and then tell us about it. I hate you for your dream and I hate you for your word. Are you hating me or are you hating how God is going to use me? That's church people. And he dreamed yet another dream. Oh, Lord, Joseph, I had it. Oh, Lord, what's wrong with you, Joseph? I had another dream. And he told it to his brothers, and he said, behold, I have dreamed a dream more. I had another one. You know what the words, you get two of them things. Hey, you need to check it. And he told his brother and said, behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon, not only did y'all bow down to me, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obedience to me. And he told this time his father and his brothers. And his father rebuked him. Joseph, what are you saying? And he said unto him, what is this dream that you have dreamed? This is what his dad is saying now, the one he loved. Shall I and your mother and your brothers indeed come down to bow down ourselves unto you on earth? Joseph could have said, yeah. And his brother envied him, but his fathers observed him. He said, you know what? But his brother was looking at him like this. You see him? And his brothers went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. We've been here before now. We got in trouble in this place right here. But they went to feed his father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, hey, Joseph, didn't your brothers go out to feed the flock in Shechem? Come and I will send you unto them. And he said unto him, here I am. What you say you want me to do, Daddy? Go to Shechem. All right. So he sent him out to the, okay. And he said unto him, go, I pray you, see whether it be well. Go tell me what your brother's doing with your brothers, and well with the flocks, and how they treat the animals. And make sure they got enough water and enough food. And and bring me word again. Go out there and let me know what's going on. Get on Facebook and go tell me what. So he sent him out to the valley of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. So Joseph followed directions. And a certain man found him. And behold, he was wandering in the field. And a certain man found him. A certain man. God had a certain man. And the man asked him, said, what you looking for, Joseph? No, he said, what you looking for? What you seeking for? And he said, I seek my brothers, my brethren. Tell me, I pray you, where they go? I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. Now, I just believe that this was an angel dressed in human clothing. Because this is not the first time. Abraham was sitting in his tent in the heat of the day and saw 3 men in his yard. And he ran and fed them. 3 men. And when these men, 2 of them left, went over there to Sodom and Gomorrah area, these were men. Because the people that was in Sodom recognized them, but at the same time, they had the power of God, which was. Anyway, I just believe that this guy was an angel because he knew exactly he knew Joseph was wandering, and he knew what Joseph's brothers were. And he said, I seek my brothers, tell me, I pray you, where they feed the flocks. And the man said, they are departed here. Who knows that? That's why we got to be, the word said, be careful how you treat people, because you don't never know if you're talking to an angel or not. And the man said, they are departed here, for I heard them say. In other words, I was listening. Now, he might have just been a neighbor, but he sure was nosy enough to know where they were going. And the man said, they are departed from here, for I heard them say, let us go to Dothan, or Dothan. And Joseph went after his brothers and found them exactly where that angel told him, that man in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off, them brothers said, oh, look at who coming. Look at it. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to kill him. Now look at the church. Look how they behave. This is your own blood brother. He ain't none of my whole brother. And they said one to another, behold, the dreamer coming. There you go. Come now, therefore, and let us kill him, slay him, and cast him in some pit. We're going to kill this. And we will say some evil beast has devoured him. Now, this is the whole congregation of the church right here talking. You get ready to kill somebody. And then you're going to cover it up. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into some pit. And we will say, we got to get our story together now. Some evil beast has devoured him. And we shall see what will become of his dream. We're going to stop this crazy stuff. This is a church. And look at God. Look at God. And Reuben heard it. The oldest brother heard it. And he delivered him out of their hands and said, wait a minute, hold up before y'all do this. I'm going to deliver this boy out of y'all hand before we ever do this stuff. In other words, y'all ain't thinking right. And said, let us not kill him. No, we ain't going to kill him now. And Reuben said unto them, shed no blood. We ain't going to kill him. But cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness. In other words, I know where a pit is. We're going to cast him into that. So let's just do it like that. Lay no hands on him, that he might rid him out of their hands, that he might rid them out of their hands to deliver him to his father again. So Reuben was like, I ain't gonna let y'all kill this boy. Throw him in the pit. Because he had a plan. I'm gonna get him out. I ain't finna go through this crazy stuff. I'm the older brother. Somebody got to be thinking around here. And it came to pass when Joseph was coming to his brothers, he finally got to them. Hey, y'all. And Joseph and his brother, not knowing that the church done plotted a ditch for him to trip him up. But look at God. God's so in love with his church. He's about to take this boy and turn around and bless you by this same boy that you've been make fall into this pit. And it came to pass when Joseph was coming to his brothers that they stripped Joseph out of it. Boy, give me that coat. Stripped Joseph out of that coat. His coat of colors that was on him. The first thing, that coat. And they got him out of that coat, and they took him. It took all y'all to do that boy like that. Look at the church. We had a meeting. We had a meeting the other night. Oh, we going to get him. Always coming to him with a word from the Lord. And they took him and cast him into a pit. Now, you casting somebody that's going to turn around and do you some good. I'm telling the story. I'm telling you. But look at God allow you. What you doing? God could have delivered, but God had a plan. And they took him and cast him into a pit. And God made sure there wasn't no snakes in it. And the pit was empty. Cast them all in there. You going the right one. Put them right there in that one. And they cast him in the pit. There was no water in it. It was empty. And they sat down to eat bread. How in the world could you go do something like that and go to a restaurant and start sitting down and eating? After you know you just meant harm to your brother. But look at God. Got a plan. They went down and sat down to eat bread. And they lifted up their eyes. Oh, we ain't through yet. And looked. And behold, God allowed this. He said, look at this. I'm going to send something there for you to look and behold. A company of Ishmaelites. Some kinfolk. Ishmael. My kinfolk. But we got so many, we don't know who's who. And behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. Look at God. I got to get you to Egypt, Joseph. Just work with me. Work with me, Joseph. Work with me. And Judah said unto his brother, he said, now it ain't going to profit us if we kill him, if we slay our brother. And then we're going to try to conceal his blood. We got to live with this thing. Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites. Let's sell him to our kinfolk over here. And let not our hands be upon him. We could do this without the blood. For he is our brother in our flesh. Look at it. Look at Judah. He's having a little compassion. That's our brother in our flesh. No, Judah, you just working in behalf of the word of God. And his brothers were content. All right, Judah, I like that. I like that. You thinking, boy, you thinking. Then there passed by Midianites merchantmen. All right, now we finally got somebody. And they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the, come on, Joseph, come on. Joseph thought he was getting out of that pit. Because you know he wasn't down there being quiet. Y'all get me out of here. What y'all doing to me? And they drew him out. Joseph, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. And they lifted up Joseph out of the pit and said, oh, you can forget it. And sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. Now, then there passed by Midianites, merchants, men, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, so these folks saw what was going on, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph into Egypt. Look at God's plan. Here it is, God trying to do you some good, and you thought you were getting back with something. I'm telling y'all, we already know it. If you don't, God is setting this thing up to bless the folk that did that to you. Look at the church, how y'all treat me. I just need God, so I just want to put my hand on one of y'all so I can bless all y'all. What kind of love is that? The Father sees all of this. And still he said, I'm trying to get you out of the condition of what I see going to happen to you in your future. And I need a plan to take one of y'all so that I can make sure all of y'all are being fed. I got a plan that I want to just let me have one of y'all. And this is how y'all did. Why y'all going around doing this and that? All I'm trying to do is get to all of y'all. And I just need one of y'all. But I'll use the one that y'all let me have. Watch me love you while you plotting against me. Because whatever you do to him, you do it to me. And Reuben returned to the pit, the one that said, I'm just going to get him out. And behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he tore his clothes. In other words, he was upset. And he returned to his brothers and said, what's up with Joseph? The child is not. And when I left, where is he? Where did he go? And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of goats and said, they told Reuben what happened. Why they plotting this stuff? Reuben is in on it now. He don't like it, but what happened to the boy? Still plotting, still trying to cover up. And God is still looking and saying, all I'm trying to do is bless you. And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of the goats and dipped the coat in the blood. Got one of their own, killed it by their own property, their own produce, their own animals, their own flock. We'll kill what we got in order to cover up what we can. In other words, I'll take my own stuff to cover up something that to cover something that can't be covered. Look at our finite minds and thinking. Look at God still being God. Looking at you like this. And I'm still trying to bless you. That's all I'm trying to do. But I know your heart. I know your heart ain't like mine. But I'm going to take the one I can use so I can come back and bless you. That's some love there, boy. And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of the goats and dipped the coat in the blood. God said that blood ain't strong enough. I'm going to send you some real blood. But go ahead. And they sent the coat of colors, and they brought it to their father and said, this have we found, Daddy. You done lied until you look like you're on stage. Know now whether it be thy son coat or not. I don't know. Is the Joseph coat, Daddy? What a performer. Or what a performance. All of y'all, 10 of y'all. And we ain't counting his baby brother, Benjamin. And he knew it. Daddy. And said, it is my son coat. And Daddy was deceived. Even Daddy can be deceived. It's something about deception that if that's what you use, even before you came back to Bethel. Bethel is that place you got right with God. It does not say that the consequences of what you did was not taught to people that saw you do it. God ain't holding it against you because out of all of what y'all plotting and planning, God said, I still got a plan. I'm watching you. These things got to come this way because you taught these children how to be deceptive. Now they're deceiving you, the teacher, which you were deceived too. So this, y'all just, it's just, okay, it is what it is, but guess what I'm still going to do? I'm going to use what you give me to give you what I want you to have. This is God. And he knew it and said to my son, that is my son's coat, and even beast has devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. Oh. Imagine that it's all an act. But those acts and performances that we do, they tear us to pieces. Because we lack the wisdom of God. We lack what's going on and how God is moving, but so we get caught up with the act, and it hurts, and real tears fall out of real eyes, and real pain is connected to it, and we stay in that position a long time. And Jacob rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days. And all of this, all these lies. Look how much time is being wasted. And God is still allowing it. It's got to be this way. Because I'm going to bless you more than your deception. I'm going to bless you so much so until I get it that he's ignorant of what you just did. But I got to use that in spite of what you did, I still love you. Because you're my church, you're my people. Out of all the plotting that you did, I got to show you how steady I am. I got to show you that I'm God. I got to show you that you got to start believing I am who I say I am. I already told Abraham these things were going to happen. I knew you were going to do it like this. I know who I'm working with. I'm not lost in what I'm doing because I want this world to see that reading about you to say, this is how I love. Because they already know the promise. They already know that my son has been born. They already saw my son die. But now they're going back to kind of, Brenda is going back and she's trying to see how steady I was then. So she'll know that I'm still steady and I'm still God. And all his sons and all his daughters, look at them boys coming up, playing games. Look at the church. Going through the process. Know what you just did. And God allowed you to do what you did. And all his sons and all his daughters that we never heard their names but one, rose up to comfort him. Got up, Daddy, you okay? Daddy, you okay? I don't know if they came home and told the girls what was going on or not, but these folk, this church needs to stop. But he refused to be comforted. Y'all leave me alone. And he said, for I will go down to the grave until my son mourning. The very one that the brothers knew your daddy loved, that's the one you killed. And at the same time, God gonna turn that same boy up, raise him up just so he can turn around and bless you. Thus, his father wept for him. We only cry because we don't know what God sees. We cry because we trust the people that tell us what we think we ought to know. And God is saying, if you only trust what I have already said, if only you could go back and look at what I told Abraham, know that it's already done. And anything that comes in between, just know that you're limited in what you know. Don't get caught up with that. Because this story is already ended. And I already know what I'm doing, but I'm allowing you to go through the process so the people that's going to come after you can look back and say, you can trust God. And the Mennonites, so this going back, focusing on this 17-year-old boy, however old he was, however long it took him to get to where they were going. And the Mennonites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and captain of the guard. God said, put him right where I want him. He's going to be placed right, all of what he's going through, even though he may not understand how I'm using him. And I know that even in my life, and that's the last verse, even in my life, sometimes it can get really, 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 really super, super, super lonely. Because you don't have anybody you can just, when I used to be a part of the organization, I depended on these people to always be there for me. But when I started reading this word, I felt myself, and I'll be honest with you, I feel like I'm on an island because it really ain't a whole lot of people to bounce back of. Number one, people don't want to read it like this. Not everybody, some people do. But it's the greatest book, but it's the most ignored book, even by people who read the book or who got license to say you know, you could trust me with the book. But I find myself, and I said, but I get so much joy in knowing that I can have this quiet time with God. And I can see, I don't even know where I was going with it. I'm going to get off this line. I got deep. I was getting ready to go somewhere with it. But anyway, just to know that God, I don't know where I was going. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to get in chapter 38. I was going somewhere with it, but I got caught up. I'll talk to you. I love y'all. Bye.